Pretty much good shape here?
Also,
All right, we're going to start over. We'll start over on this side of the room real quick. So what we're talking about here is what is a major strength you might have, a major weakness, a major opportunity you might see coming down the road, or a major threat that might be approaching you as well. Okay? Give me any one of those, yeah?
Lee, why don't you jump in?
Our strength?
Yeah,
Anyway.
sure.
Alright, our strength is like we have like flexible schedules and we're like very nimble.
I love that. That's a great strength. That's a great strength. Anybody have another strength? Who had a strength? You guys have a strength?
well, we think we have a good market base because we're near colleges.
Okay, good. So location you feel is a strength of yours. All right, that's okay.
Diversity of skills within our co-op.
I love that. That's fabulous. Yep. How about you guys? Strength.
Our community-oriented nature.
Ooh, okay. So your culture in a lot of ways with that. Very nice. I love that. Okay, how about you guys?
Leading edge control strategies on distributed processing robotics.
The leading edge. You don't want to be on the leading edge. You want to be on the bleeding edge of that, huh?
Already are.
Ooh, already are. Well, okay. Have a lot of shirts you can change. All right. But that's good. I love that. So the strengths. You heard some really wonderfuls. Flexibility, nimbleness, multi-skilled. You guys, really good stuff. The culture. It's about the community. Good strengths. Okay. Really good stuff. And by the way, dedication. Right? Dedicated to the cause. That's a good strength. All right. How about a weakness? Let's go the other side, internal. Let's go over here. How about a weakness, you guys? What is your biggest weakness, you think? Or a weakness? You don't have a weakness.
Well, we don't have a co-op.
Okay, so that's
really.
well, we'll use that as a weakness. How about that? Okay, we don't really have a co-op, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I love it. That's it. You can fix that one. That'll be good.
That'll be easy.
How about you guys? Do you have a weakness?
They said the lack of experience in the market.
Okay, that's a great lack of experience. That's a really, the nice thing about this is supposed to be a little soul searching. You have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and like the guy who's looking back. All right, which means you got to be truthful. You got to be honest. And sometimes soul searching. Hey, we don't have the experience. We know that. Good thing to know going into the market. All right, you can fix that. That can be fixed. All right, how about you guys? A weakness. A weakness, yeah.
Competing commitments.
Oh, okay.
Worker members.
Okay, yep. That's really good. It's tough to get things going if you don't have the capacity to do it because people are just stretched and doing other things. That's an interesting one. Okay.
A much lower cash flow than for-profit petty cut services.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so your cash flow is low, so you're not making quite as much as maybe some of the other ones are
Whereas
in your
one person
competitiveness.
makes a huge amount and the other ones, we all
Oh,
make
you
a
all
lot
may.
less.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Back here, weakness.
We said certainly staff and money.
Money. Okay, capital, money,
Capital.
whatever. Working capital, working
capital,
cash.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Okay, and
Scheduling because all the employees, partners are in high school, so.
so it's almost like you guys, commitments and other things you just got to do. Yeah, it's tough to start a business part-time when you're doing something else. Okay, that's really hard to do. So that's, it's, but think other people work 2 jobs, right? So maybe think of it that way. All right? Okay, good. Excellent. Let's move on. Next slide.
I have to go.
Okay, operational planning. So why don't you go ahead and click through these, I think these are these are definitions. Oh yeah? Okay. So, yeah, go ahead, one more. That's it. All right. So this is very important. When you're building your plan, you have to first start off with an objective. Okay? And an objective is what you want to achieve. It's your goal. It's that simple. What do you want to achieve? We like it to be focused. So your plan could have several objectives. Each one should be a singular focused objective. Okay? And you should have some kind of a deadline. Now, if your plan is a 3-year plan, then maybe already you've got your deadline, which is 3 years from now. Okay? but each of these objectives could have their own deadline, all right? There's a wonderful saying, a goal is a dream with a deadline. I wish I could get a car. I'm gonna get a car. I'm gonna get a car. I'm gonna get a new car. That's a dream. I'm gonna get a new car by December 31st. That's a goal. And I only say that to you because 2 years ago, I have a personal list of goals. And one of my goals was to buy a new car, okay? A used car. I never buy a new car. But I bought a used car. And I bought a used car on December 31st. I had the last day left, and it was the last thing on my list. And I'm at the car dealer, and I'm going, did it, man. It's noontime on New Year's Eve, and I've checked off the last goal I had on my list for that year. All right? I could have had a dream, and it would have been January 1st, and I still didn't have a new car. I had a goal. I have to have a car by the end of the year. That was my goal. Okay? So, very important. Objective. Strategy. The means by which you're going to achieve your objective. The means by which you're going to have that desired result. Okay? And then a tactic or tactics, the means by which a strategy is carried out. Here's my objective, here's my strategy, and here's the tactics to do it. So next slide, please. And think of it this way, okay? Objectives are top. You have a handful of those. Then you're going to have a strategy to meet that objective. And then you're going to have maybe one tactic, maybe you got 5 tactics to be able to meet that strategy, which is going to help you achieve your goal. All right? I'm going to give you an example. Next slide. One click right there. Here's my objective. By the way, this is confidential information from my marketing plan. You're not allowed to share it with anybody, especially my competitors. Okay? So I took this out of my marketing plan. All right? Here's an objective in my plan. Build awareness and provide promotional support for products, services, membership, and brand image. That's my objective. Now, it doesn't have a deadline because this is a plan that's a 3-year plan, so this is actually an ongoing objective for me, okay? Build awareness. Notice the objective starts with a verb, right? Build, achieve, something, all right? Next, strategy. How am I going to achieve that objective? I'm going to develop and execute a media plan for radio and interior bus advertising. Okay? Very specific strategy to meet that objective. All right? My objective is to build awareness. My strategy is I'm going to have a media plan and it's going to include interior bus advertising. Very simple. Everybody understands what we got to do. Okay? Next. How am I going to do that? Okay, first tactic. Okay. How am I going to do this? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase. WFCR is a public radio station in Amherst, Massachusetts. Okay. I'm going to increase my underwriting efforts, focusing on a membership eligibility message. That is a tactic to achieve that strategy. Does it make sense? Next tactic, please. I'm also going to implement a maintenance schedule on another radio station. Actually, 2 radio stations, okay? So I'm going to develop a media schedule, and I'm going to play it all year long, a maintenance schedule that I have, all right? Next strategy. I'm going to incorporate a fall schedule on a 94.3 hits in conjunction with the student program. I'm doing student marketing, University of Massachusetts, 5 colleges. So there's a station called Hits Radio, it's a top 40s radio. I'm going to implement a schedule on them in the fall, okay? Next tactic. And I'm going to integrate PVTA, that's Pioneer Valley Transit Authority, bus advertising in combination with the student program as a test. I've never done bus advertising interior before, so I'm going to test it, all right? Does this make sense? There's my objective, there's my strategy, and I'm going to have a bunch of tactics underneath. Maybe you only have 1 tactic. Maybe you got 20 tactics. I don't know. Okay? Okay, let's add some details. All right, so this is actually a screenshot of my marketing plan, a section of my marketing plan. This happens to be an Excel spreadsheet. Why? I have to update it. There's some more columns out this way that I did not show you, okay? But I'll talk about them. So, tactic 1, 2, 3, 4, just like you saw. Who's responsible? Me, okay? When am I doing it? Spring, that's ongoing. I'm going to do it in the fall, and then there's a summer-fall schedule that I'm going to run it. Now I know when I'm going to do it, okay? Some comments, just some ideas. Membership eligibility message to be used. And then my last column is my budget. It tells me how much money I'm going to spend that year on those particular items, okay? You're going to have a page like this for each of your strategies with your tactics. So objective, right above that would have been an objective, there would have been the strategy, and then strategy number 1 in this case, because there's actually more than one strategy on this particular objective, okay? This is one's the media strategy, okay? So you can just expand or contract the size of that depending on what your resources are and what you think you can do, okay? Very simple. But you're always using the objective, strategy, and then your tactics, and then you fill in when the deadline is, the timing, the budget, any of that other stuff that you can fill in. This is an Excel spreadsheet, so it's a very easy to manipulate that and make that as a working document. All right? Any questions on sort of how that looks? And you can see that you'll use that again and again. It doesn't matter what the objective is or the strategy or tactics. You just lay it out. And notice how simple those were. One quick sentence. You're not writing a book here, okay? Because it's a working document. You want to be able to get to it, read it. Yes, is that what we're doing? No. Change it. Keep moving, okay? All right, next slide, please. All right, go ahead. One more. All right, so marketing tactics. I just told you some marketing tactics. Radio was there, right? There was PBK, bus advertising. So let's look at some tactics. Go ahead and just bring them on up. There'll be another column. About 4 more, I think. All right, well, that's it. All right. Remember I said to you that it doesn't matter what business you're in, okay? There's all kinds of tactics out there. Now, for some businesses, some tactics make more sense than other tactics. That would just be obvious, okay? And depending on your market, your consumer, you may use different tactics to reach that consumer. All right? So I'm just giving you a simple laundry list here of some tactics. Direct mail, pretty much snail mail, anything that goes through the mail, okay? Don't underestimate it. Crazy enough, kids between the ages, and I say kids because I'm an old person, so kids between the ages of 21 and 30, what is the way they like to receive information about financial institutions? Anybody? Number 1 way. Through the mail.
Through the mail.
Okay. Through the mail. Number 1 way, 35%. So you never know until you do the research. All right? Why? Because a financial institution is very new to somebody who's 22 or 23, doesn't really understand it. There's something about having paper in their hand and reading it and seeing it for the first time. It's about money, there's terms, there's all kinds of stuff. They like paper because it's such a big decision. And it's new. Believe it or not, older people could care less. They'd rather get it by email. All right, because they're experienced. They know what's coming. They get it. Okay, yes, that's what that is. No problem. I've done that for 25 years. Okay? All right. Email, obviously, there's all kinds of email types of things. That is a whole tactic where we have a guy, that's what he does. Marketing coordinator, handles all our email blasts. We have, 31,000 members. The first 6 months of this year, I sent out 217,000 emails. Okay? All right. And we got to actually get really good results with our stuff. So, web, obvious, online. You got to be mobile ready. You got to be device sensitive, right? It's got to look just as good on a tablet as it does on a phone, as it does, on your laptop, right? Number 1, simple, clean, all right? Web. Electronic, other types of electronic media, meaning electronic media would be radio, TV, okay? Print, obviously newspapers, magazines, free newspapers, all that kind of stuff. And then write down the list, okay? Message on hold, the guys on the telephone, that you hear when you're on hold, you're hearing the message, okay? Public relations, that's a tactic. You guys are culture driven with your community, so public relations would be a pretty big tactic for you guys because that leverages that culture, okay? Promotional events, Same thing there on a public service approach could be very good. You could have a bike clinic for high school kids, and then you would promote that and have the TV station come and do a thing about that, and the cops would be there to help about safety, all sponsored by your bicycle cab company. And you're going to do a video and post it on YouTube. Okay, that one's done. What's next? Okay, marketing and research, all right? We've been talking about information. That's a tactic. I don't know. How did I know that information? I do secondary research, I do primary research. Newsletters, believe it or not, the good old newsletter sometimes really works. Sometimes people just like that, okay? That's a great way to build relationships, a great way to build your persona as a brand. And premiums. I already did my marketing today. I gave everybody a pen. That's a premium item, right? It has my name on it, all right? Simple as that. You're all going to remember who I am. Guarantee that. It wasn't because of my good looks. I can tell you that. All right? Okay. So those are some tactics. So when you're talking about your objectives and strategies, when it comes to tactics, it's going to be things like this that fall into the tactics. Okay? And those promotional events, those trade shows, same thing there. Okay? All right. Good. Next.